In this video, we'll be reviewing the control codes or report generation badges that you have with your harvest scale system. These control codes are simply a shortcut through the keypad to generate reports. If you notice, there is a reports button here, and when pressed once, it brings you to a list of reports. Pressing the units button or the print button will allow you to select through these same reports that the control codes print. So if you lose a badge, you can always go and navigate through these reports to find what you're looking for. If you'd like to get out of this, simply press the back button once, and you're back to the regular weighing mode. The first report that we'll talk about is the grand total report. This is a very simple report that might be most useful when trying to find out how much fruit you'll have for a day. You can see you have a running total only for this scale, the total number of pickers, and the average weight per picker that's been picked. On the back side of that control code, you'll find the single picker report. This one is useful if you find that a picker feels that there's been some kind of error made and they'd like to review what transactions that has been saved at the scale. When you scan the badge, it'll bring up the active picker ID. Let's say we want picker number 7. So you key in picker 7 and hit the ZERO button once to confirm. This is an excellent report that shows picker number 7 had 12 transactions for 63.34 pounds at 16.29 pounds per hour. And you can see all of the transactions that were created to get here. We also have a field summary report, which when scanned will give you the total weight of each field that has been picked. So you can see field 1 at 72 pounds and field 78 at 227 pounds. The same report can be run for variety totals as well. One of our more popular reports is the Leaderboard Report. Simply scan that, and you'll see that you get a printout of the pickers on your crew sorted from highest to lowest, or the most efficient picker to the least efficient picker. On the other side of that, we also have a loser board report that when scanned, gives you the same output as the leaderboard report, only it sorts the pickers from the least efficient to the most efficient, so you can find out who is kind of slacking on the crew. Note that both of these reports only print the highest and lowest 50 pickers that are clocked in for that day, so it may not show you all of the pickers on a single output. We also have a report that will print out what information is on an individual pallet ID or lot number ID. We use those kind of terms interchangeably. When you print this ticket, when you scan this ticket, it'll prompt you and ask for the pallet ID. We'll go ahead and use the current pallet ID that's in the scale right now. If you wanted to change it, you could just type in pallet number 0, for instance, but we'll type in 5566 and then hit the ZERO button once. And this will give you a summary of what's on an individual pallet or lot ID. You'll see there's field and variety information, as well as the gross total, which is 130 pounds. That's the weight of the tear containers and the fruit, and then just the fruit. We also have a Pallet Summary or a Lot ID report. When you scan this one, It will give you a summary of the scale's lot ID numbers or pallet ID numbers. And you can see that pallet 0 has 229.96 pounds gross. That's the weight of the lugs and the fruit. 198.8 pounds net, just the weight of the fruit. Was started at 10:50, stopped at 12:51, and took 2 hours to build. On fields 1 and field 78, and there was 37 scans or transactions that created that pallet or lot ID number. And you can see it just repeats for subsequent pallet IDs or lot ID numbers. At the end of the day, we have a summary report. You can scan this purple badge and it will give you a total for the scale and a high-level total for every picker that's worked on that scale that day. Here you can see we created 2 pallet or lot IDs with 4 pickers for a total of 300.2 pounds, 02 pounds. And then here you can see that we have picker number 7, today's date, the start and the stop time, or the first and last transactions that we have for them in the scale, the total number of transactions, and the total weight for that day. Now it is important to note that all of these reports will only give you data on an individual scale level. The scales do not talk to each other in the field, and if you have more than one scale, we advise that you use the Harvest Scale System software to merge the data from all the different scales seamlessly without any errors. Thank you so much for watching.